buttons. And we are live. Howdy, everybody.
Hello.
You guys know Pam. She's the co-host, and I'm her co-host on her streams. And then we've got our special guest is Scince Aquatics, and that's Kerri. Jesse couldn't make it, partly due to the short notice and partly because of work commitments. So Jesse's not here. But the good news is we may be able to have them on the Tennessee Fish Mafia panel. She's working on it. So
Oh yeah,
so
I'm
let's see.
excited already. Yes.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. I haven't had you on it forever. Anyway,
It's been a little bit.
Yeah. Who's in here? Let's see. There's Mike. Welcome, Mike. He's throwing the links and things. There's Maria. Hey, Maria. She's welcoming everybody and doing the link thing too. And there I said 5 minutes. I think I was close. Patty's been talking smack. She says at 6 minutes, you need every minute you can get. That's the truth. Now it's 5, so she's timing me down there. She also said something about she wanted to see some pajama action, and that was for me, but I haven't had time to change to anything. Patty, I just got home from the Ark. So let's see. Who else is here? Is that it? Is that everybody? Looks like it. And I didn't miss anybody. So now that we're live, people will probably come in. So wait, I can hear Bob with no interference. What in the world? Well, we're early in the stream. So don't be disappointed. We're early. And Maria said, please hit the like. So yeah, please hit the like, guys. And Kerri, I asked her very, very late, like today, if she might be able to come on and talk about Aquaticon, and she was willing to do that. She does have charge of some children right now in the other room, so if she has to go
Whenever
before
they start screaming.
yeah. So you guys know how that is. So. But yeah, she was just talking a little bit about it, and she said she was pretty excited by it. And
I talk really fast just to try to get it all in.
Oh, I'm used to
to breathe.
Yeah. And speaking about talking fast, you know that her and Jesse have a podcast, and I always listen, and I almost always forget to comment, but I do like them.
Well, thank you.
And
They're so fun.
Well, you can tell that they do an awesome job. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. You do an awesome job of just you guys play off of each other so well. It's actually better than the live stream, in my opinion.
I think so too. Like, I really like the live streams. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like the live streams.
Yeah.
Because it's like hang out with your friend time. But the podcast is, I feel like, I don't know how to describe this. Before I met you guys and all the community, I thought I knew everything. And then I met you guys and I was like, oh, I'm not a know-it-all. Like, I have a lot to learn. And then when I started doing the podcast, like, we do topics to where we have a lot of, it's what we experience. It's from our point of view. But there's certain topics that we dive a little deeper in and do some research. So I feel like it brings us closer as a couple because we're sitting down undisturbed talking, but we're going into a deeper level on some topics that makes us a better fish keeper that I wouldn't know that I needed to know if it wasn't for the community. And it just kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just a different experience, I guess, than YouTube. And for the members, you could watch it. That's what I put for my members is the video.
Yeah.
But it's really fun. I never thought in a million years you're like, you're going to be on YouTube and have a podcast. And it's so fun. I would have been like, not me.
I really enjoy it. And
yeah. And I don't know how to edit a podcast yet. So it's raw. It's one take.
Yeah.
That's the conversation. So occasionally we might stumble, but I don't know how to edit it. So for those that don't like edited podcasts, it's definitely like I don't have an intro on it yet because I haven't figured out how to do that. So it's straight into the conversation. We don't waste time.
That may be one thing I like about it is that it is kind of raw, but it's great. It's great. And the last time you talked about stocking fish, where you got your fish from and stocking, and there were so many layers of that, and you both, especially Jesse, kept up with where you were and would go back to where the point, that was being made. And so
Yeah.
it's just, you guys do a great job with
Well,
it.
thank
So,
you. I appreciate it. It's Aquarium Dilemmas for those that don't know. If you
right.
look it up on, I believe it's on most of the directories, Spotify, Apple, Google,
Yep.
all of those.
Yeah. And if they're not subscribed to you, they are missing a really good channel. So I think everybody here probably knows they are. So. Well, what was going on at Aquaticon?
It was a fantastic time. I was telling you before the show, like, I didn't really know what I had in my head, what I was expecting, but it was just overall just the best time ever. And it was nice because usually when I go to these shows, I work a lot, and I love it. I love working on all the things. It makes me feel like part of the fish fam when I participate. But I didn't have as much responsibility, so I got to shop. We left a day early. I got to see the town. We drove and we went all over the place exploring, and it was a smaller group, so we really got to hang out even more. It was like I said, I didn't really know what I was expecting, but it blew all my expectations out of the water. It had a really good turnout. The vendors were great. It was just overall, like, I hope that they have it again next year. Me and Jesse are already like, let's go.
So did you meet a bunch of people you hadn't met before?
I had met most of everybody there, but I hadn't I hadn't met Susan. And I was telling you guys before the stream, I kind of embarrassed myself a little bit because I assume everybody is my best friend in my head. And we were exploring, had some time to kill, and I saw her in the parking lot when we got back into the expo center, and she was obviously on a phone call. But the excitement overwhelmed me, and I just barely stopped the car. I jumped out like, Susan! And I think it took her a little bit to be like, who are you? And she was like, oh, she was so nice. And I was just like, oh, I'm so excited to see you. But everybody's great. No matter how many times I get to meet everybody and talk to everybody, it's like the first time all over again. I'm equally as nervous and excited just to be like, and it seems like no time has passed. Like we pick up like just no time's passed. It's fun. I really enjoy it. If you haven't got to go to one, I highly recommend it. No matter what the show is, just to like, especially if you're a YouTuber, if you're part of the fish tube, I don't know. I just feel like it's nice to get to know. It's like I don't know how to describe it. The chats, everybody in the community is great, but it just seems like getting to know your fellow fish tubers. Just I don't know. It's like you're not just friends in my head anymore.
Right. And even though I didn't make it, we have a Facebook page that's called the Tennessee Fish Mafia. And that's growing pretty fast. Yes. And I've approved like 3 or 4 new people in the last couple of days. And the last one has on a Tennessee Fish Mafia shirt that she got there, or hat. And so I'm meeting some of the people through that Facebook page that were there that I didn't get to meet. So
yeah, those shirts were flying, and those hats were flying off the shelves. I told Ed, I was like, remember me when you're big and famous. Like, just remember me. But Jesse wore his shirt, his Tennessee Mafia shirt, to the fish store, and he was wearing it, and he had an extra pep in his step. And everybody was like, these shirts are fantastic. And the hats, like, I think it blew Ed's mind how much everybody liked the hats. I was like, they look great. They're really eye-catching. Like, they look really good.
He said he saved me one, so I hope so. I hope he did.
Going back, because I'm scatterbrained, CJ Black was there. I got to meet CJ Black in Rustic Nashville. And I didn't know... You got to tell me your handle name, because I was like, it's nice to meet you. Welcome to the show. And then they tell me who they are, and I was like, oh, my gosh.
Right.
Why didn't you lead with that? And I'm like, oh, you're my best friend. Getting to see a name and a face together, like, I don't know. It's
the
just,
association.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, who was like the biggest like YouTuber that you met there? Somebody that...
I got to tour Sean Pecktek's fish room. Well, got to see all of his tanks, and I was like, my mind was like blown. I was like, man, these are awesome. And I would say him and Dustin. Yeah. Dustin's fish tanks were there.
Yeah.
He set up. He had a booth there. I would say those were probably the larger channels, but there's a bunch of us. It was Fish Tank Barn, me and
Mike.
Jesse, Ed. Let's see, Fantastic Freaks, Susan, Fish Room Fever. I'm gonna forget someone. T and Aqua.
John from Select Pet.
Yes,
there.
yes. He was a fellow judge for the aquascaping contest, which I was very underqualified to be helping with, but I felt very like, look at me, a judge.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. CJ Black, I always miss somebody, but I feel like that was the majority, maybe. But,
Sean's wife was there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had a really nice
Holly.
Yeah, she had all of her. I showed it, well, when you see my video, when I eventually get the video done. I have it in the video, the Aquaticon video, that I might have it done tonight after this, depending on the kiddos.
Be on
and
the
how
lookout
messy,
for that.
Yeah, how messy the kitchen gets after this. But, yeah.
It
She had
was
really
on
nice, really nice artwork.
She really did. And Robert went by and he was really good. He was hosting us. And I'm a mod on his channel, so I was interacting with him, more than I might. And he might, I'm sorry, I was going to aggravate Maria Z there. She said BRB, and I was going to say, hurry back, Maria, and I lost my train of thought. But anyway, he was going through there, and I'm like, wait, slow down, go back, look at the art, and let me see that cardinal. And he held it up, and I'm like, get that for me. And I'm giving it, or going to give it to a girl that I volunteer with. She loves cardinals, so. Yeah, it's nice. And the owl she had there was awesome too. Somebody got that, I heard.
Oh, and Garden of Eder was there.
Yeah, that's Grant, I think.
And
I'm trying to
Shelby.
learn. I'm trying to learn all these names. Yes.
Yeah, I'm horrible with names. You guys, your first name is your YouTube handle. Do not require me. I am horrible. I usually remember your face. I don't usually remember your name, but for some reason I can remember like people's YouTube names. I was like with Lefty was there, and I was like, your name's not that, your name's Lefty Lotta Numbers.
Right.
I don't know who this person is texting me.
He's
I'm horrible at that.
Lefty's Brian, isn't he? I always call him Lefty, but isn't he Brian? Yeah.
I think we had a conversation, for no joke, like for a week on Facebook before. I was like, who is this? I really feel like I know this person. They know me.
Yeah, they know all about
I
you.
am not like the most, like, I'm aware, but I'm kind of oblivious too to things. And I was like, oh, once it clicked, I was like, oh goodness, I am a horrible friend.
One thing I was going to ask you too about the event is somebody said there wasn't as much fresh water as they expected, and I think some freshwater people might have canceled, but I know Aquatic Marine has a large, well, you've been there to the store you mentioned, and
Yeah, they
a few
didn't have,
times.
for being the first show, it's kind of hard because I don't know if this was particularly the instance, but from like working different types of events that have nothing to do with fish, sometimes the first one people are just kind of, it's not that they don't want to go, they're just waiting to see how it goes the first time. And so I feel like maybe it'll be bigger next year because it was such a big success, but the fish store had extended hours, so they were open to 9. So if you didn't necessarily see what you wanted at the show, the store was open. I don't know what time they normally close, but they were open for a significantly longer period of time, and you could go over there and shop, and they had all kinds of wonderful things. So I'm hoping, because like I said, it was such a good turnout for a first show. I've worked like hair events in the past in my life that the first show was, you were lucky to get 50 people. Granted, it wasn't fish, it was hair stuff, but it was, the first show's always hard because people don't really know. So they had some plants, they had shrimp, they had a little bit of livestock, they had some saltwater stuff, they had art, they had a good fair share of vendors, they had a lot. But if you didn't see what you were looking for, you could just go over to the fish store, and that store was super close. It was only like, I don't know, a mile if that away. So it was just right around the corner, and the parking lot was full. So I heard through the grapevine it was like 800 and something maybe plus people, but it was good turnout.
That
It really
great
was.
turnout
It was
for the first event.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope that they have it. I told him when I was at the fish store, I was like, I'll see you next year. He's like, we'll see. So I just feel like it's going to be, if they do have it next year, it's going to be, they'll have more vendors. They'll have all kinds more stuff available. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm assuming. It's all my opinion.
I would have been fine. I mean, I love the fresh water and have lots of fresh water, but I
thought
also
they had a
do
good
the salt.
selection. Mm-hmm.
And I love the reptiles, so I would have been
Yeah.
cool with it myself. Yeah.
They had a reptile vendor. They had the aquatic marine booth had axolotls. They had plant tissue cultures. They had a koi food that I don't think was available anywhere else. I feel like that's what I heard. They had stuffed animals. Grant and Shelby had shrimp and plants. There was another vendor that had livestock, but I wasn't able to like go in to see what it was. There's bettas. They had a fair share amount, especially being the first show. I mean, like I said, I don't really know what I expected. I wasn't expecting to see like tons of stuff, but they had more than I thought they would have, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Yeah. It exceeded your expectations. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to see if I can talk to Kenny and maybe have him come on. I'm sure a lot of people want to see him, but I'm a customer. I don't get to go there as often as I do my local stores. It's about an hour and a half drive, but it's all interstate, so
Yeah.
I need to go anyway.
Yeah, it was a really easy drive.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And, they had the World's Fair there in 86, so all of those interstates are new, and they were built to, to accommodate all that traffic. So,
yeah, it was nice too. This is kind of on topic, but not. We drove through Louisville, Kentucky, going there. So me and Jesse were like, "This is kind of nice. We don't really know what the exit is yet, but we know the path to the Triple Crown because we had to go through that town to get to Knoxville. Because we went through. We started obviously Missouri, then we went through Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and then drove south to Tennessee. So it was like a little over 9 hours, and you guys are an hour ahead of us. So it was still an hour. It felt earlier than it was. And then on top of it, we got to leave a day early. So we really got to enjoy just the process of getting there. We weren't so rushed to catch a flight. Usually we get to the airport and we're like, oh my gosh, it's boarding in 10 minutes.
Yeah. That stress. Well, that's good. That's good. You could enjoy going over and take your time too. Not arrive all stressed out. So
yeah.
Mike's sharing the links there. Thank you, Mike. Well, what about Jesse? Did he have a good time as well?
Yeah, I just get a kick because, well, tomorrow's our 6-year anniversary. So if he's watching this, happy 6 years. Like, happy. So when I first started, he was not into this. Like, he would help me, but he would be done quickly. And a lot of this was in our living room. So he was like, or in our dining room area, and he's like, really, like another one? So for him to come from there to being on the live stream, to being my co-host on the podcast, to willingly and excitingly want to leave a whole day early and take off work to go on a 9-hour trip to a 1-day show, I can't even describe how thankful.
He's hooked.
Yes, and the fact that he was like, they had discus there, and we really want some discus. We want to try them upstairs in our 75-gallon tank, but we're both like nervous about it because of our water. And so they had them there, and we've never seen them in a fish store for sale before. So we were there for a long time, just staring, contemplating, like, do you want to ask them a question? I'm like, yeah, but I don't really know if we should do, like, just so we were just all over the place. And we decided not to get them. We went with something else, but it's just like it's just mind-boggling. It's just, I'm so thankful and so in awe that he wants to do this, and he has a good time. Like, he's not grumpy. The only time he was grumpy was he's like, really, another Starbucks? I'm like, yeah, another Starbucks. And I'm horrible at driving, so he had to drive the whole time. And, well, I drove like the last 45 minutes home, and I told him, I was like, aren't you glad that like I'm trying to drive? And he just was like, shut up.
Yeah, the last few minutes.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm trying to like not be nervous, and he's like, shut up.
It's funny. Discus intimidate me. I mean, I've tried them a couple of times, and lots of theories about why they didn't make it, but they were really a struggle and did not. They failed to thrive. Pam has kept discus before, very successfully. Yeah,
I've heard, I think it was Fishy Biz that told me somewhere along the line through a fish auction that there's a more local breeder in St. Louis, which is a couple hours from me, but I could, if I see him in the auction, I feel like I would be more comfortable since it comes from a little bit, at least in the same state, but even that, it could be so drastically different. But I just get really nervous when it comes to purchasing fish. It takes me like, I still impulse buy, but when I've been thinking about what I'm going to put in this tank for a while, then I get really indecisive. So I'm nowhere in the middle. I'm either super impulsive or I wait to the point where it drives Jesse crazy to make a decision. Like, I'm nowhere in the middle.
And also Maria Z on here, she keeps discus. They're beautiful. I've seen them.
They are.
So some good resources there if you need advice. They both know their discus.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out. They had one, I don't think it was for sale. It was in one of those cylindrical tanks. And it was kind of grayish body, but the fins were really red. It was just on the fins. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so pretty.
Wow. Mike says that the designer discus are pretty easy to keep, high temps and clean water at all times. I know that's what I tried, Mike, and both times long, slow disc.
In a 75-gallon tank, and I change 40 gallons of water once a week.
Oh.
Just once a week?
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of people.
Twice, but most of the time I did once a week. But it was like heavily planted too. So.
Yeah. Some people say do it every other day, so I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people will, well, at the time when I was doing them, a lot of people had them in bare bottom tanks and would change water every day. But I did it like 40 gallons once a week.
Wow. I don't know. That could be a whole stream or a series of streams talking about discus.
I just look at them and I'm like, they're so pretty, but there's a lot of fish out there. I've kept a very small amount of species compared to what's out there, but it's just one that's fascinated me all of a sudden, that and axolotls, and it's probably because I'm in a lot of chats and they get talked about a lot.
Yeah.
But that was what I did almost buy, but I was like, I don't have any way. I'm nervous about keeping it cold enough, but I've never seen so many axolotls for sale in one. Like, I just don't have that here, and they're just so fascinating and so adorable that I was like, oh my gosh, I want one.
Mine spawn all the time. I have 3 adults. That's all I have now, but they spawn all the time.
Really?
And the water stays cool. I have it sitting about a foot off the floor. We lost Pam. And it stays cool enough. I mean, they do. They literally spawn all the time. This time I didn't pull eggs, and 3 people were wanting them, and I didn't pull them in time, and they fungus, so I had to tell everybody. But I gave up on trying to raise them. When they have the eggs, it really does take some patience and time. And there she is back, maybe. But yeah, they're fun. They're really cute.
They are cute.
Bob, would you quit hitting the buttons?
I'm not hitting the buttons. I haven't been near your button, Pam. Nowhere near.
I always think of Pam when I hit a button that it's not even YouTube related anymore, that I don't really know if I should do this. It took me a long time to hit a button on this mic, this red box thing, that I was like, I think I should hit this. I feel like I should, but I don't know. And now I just think of you. That's like, what would Pam do?
Yep. What would Pam do, right?
I was like, I don't know, but I did, and it worked, so it worked out.
What about, are you doing okay with time still?
Yeah, so
with
far no one's screaming.
Well, one of the last streams, maybe 2 weeks ago, you were talking about stocking the outside pond. So did you decide what you were going to do with that?
No, right now I just have the usual. I haven't put anything out there. I've started... This year I kept the smaller summer tubs outside, but there's nothing in them right now. The bigger tubs still have the white clouds, the mosquito fish, and then in the pond I have rosy red minnows.
Oh, nice. What size of pond is it?
It's like 250 or 300 gallons. Yeah, 250 to 300, somewhere in that frame. It was here when Jesse built it, but I don't remember how many gallons it is, like specifically. It's somewhere in that range. But for the smaller tubs, I usually do at least one of guppies. I wanted to get some more rice fish because the rice fish did so well, but when I moved them inside, because then they didn't do so well. So, I don't know. I usually do guppies. I want to do rice fish, but I've been really lazy, and I haven't ordered or, gotten anything in. I don't have rice fish here. The guppies that I put in there, I usually just pull out of this 55-gallon that's above, right there, above my head.
Right.
But for the rice fish last year, I ordered them in, and then I still have the white clouds that I ordered at the same time. Yeah, because I got the pearl galaxy and the blue daisies, and the blue daisies did okay inside, but the pearl galaxies did not. That's what it was.
I'm trying to remember, that's what Pam used to keep, I think, the daisies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah.
I never really had, I haven't had good luck because I've never tried to breed egg layers, I guess I should say. And so when I got those and I bred them outside, I was surprisingly surprised how easy it was. I was like, wow, this is nice. But I moved them inside because the bigger tubs do well. Even when they freeze, they don't freeze all the way. But those smaller tubs, when they freeze, even though they do well outside in the cold, they're just too shallow. They would freeze completely. So I went ahead and brought them in, and they were just used to being outside, I guess.
Yeah. I read or researched or found out about, I've got an in-ground pond that was here, one of those plastic or not styrofoam, but anyway, the waterfall and all that. But anyway, I think it was supposed to be 350 gallons, but I don't have anything in it. But I keep a ball in it, a ball that floats, and it's dark blue or black. And so when the sun hits it, it keeps it from freezing completely. So as long as the sun's out, it works, but if it's cloudy a couple of days or snowy, it'll freeze over.
Yeah. I have a de-icer that I put in there in the winter time, but this winter it got cold, but it never got cold enough to use it like it did the year before last. That year it got cold and froze, and it got so cold it didn't even keep up. But this year it got cold, but just not cold enough to, I don't even know if it completely froze over once this winter.
Yeah, I used to keep a bucket in my pond so that it wouldn't totally freeze over.
A bucket, you say?
Yeah, just an empty bucket, and I'd weight it down so it'd be about halfway buried into the pond, and it just kept it from totally icing over because I kept goldfish over
Yeah.
winter in it, and you don't want it to freeze over and cut the oxygen off.
Yeah.
Huh. I hadn't heard that. Awesome. What about your, you have an Arowana.
I do.
You don't talk about that a whole lot, but
That's because
upstairs.
Jesse steals all my animals. They're all Jesse's animals now. The dog, the Arowana, he's taken over. That tank's just really hard to film because all you see is the reflection of me in it, so it's just hard to film. But it's gotten huge, and Jesse feeds it. He kind of, I'll help him with the water change, but when it comes to feeding that tank, he loves it. That's what he does. And it got one of his fingers the other day, and he walked in. He's like, "It's starting to hurt. It's starting to hurt." I think he could eventually maybe get my finger. And I was like, "Yeah."
Poor Jesse.
Yeah. And when we do a water change I use a water hose with a pump on the end of it, and
Yeah.
it has a valve so you can turn it up and down, and we'll put it over there with a clamp, and this Arowana will come over there, and I don't know if he tries to eat the end of the water hose or if he's just curious, but he jumps every time and tries to get he tries to eat the end of the water hose, I guess, every time. And I'm like, just stop.
How big is it?
It's over 2 feet, but I don't
Oh, wow.
know exactly. It's in a 180, and it's still turning good, but you can tell it's here, and probably sooner than later it's gonna need a bigger tank. And we're just trying to find one. They're harder to find than I ever thought they would be. I thought in my head when I got this little Arowana and it was in a 10-gallon. I was like, oh, by the time, I can order something. I just figured you could go to PetSmart and just make an order for like a bigger tank and just say that's what I want. But it doesn't really work that way.
No.
And so we lucked out. This is why you shouldn't impulse buy monster fish, not knowing what you're doing. So I lucked out because it was in a 10-gallon, then I moved it in a 20 long, and then outgrew that, and I moved it in a 55. Then we went to the 55 to this 180, and I got here, back up. Luckily the nursing home wanted to upgrade, and they called the fish store, and the fish store called me, and I met them, and it was outside on a patio, and I was like, I'll take it. We had to reseal it, but it worked out.
What about making like a plywood tank? Would Jesse be able to do that?
Oh, I'm sure he could. He can do anything my brain thinks of. I just haven't. The kids are coming in. We're gonna get.
You could do like a plywood tank with a glass front.
Yeah, he can. I just don't have anywhere to put it at the moment. I don't have anywhere big enough that would house a plywood tank. But if we could figure it out, he would.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm in that same predicament. This is the 180 behind me, and I have those Pacu in there, and they can still turn them fine, but they need a bigger tank.
Yeah, he's. We've been shopping, we've been looking, and I'm sure we'll find with Jesse. He'll figure it out for me. He always solves my problems.
Have you looked at like the swimming pools or like LRB set up one of those clear plastic tanks recently? They're bad to jump though, so I mean you'd have to net it for sure.
Yeah, you would, because he jumps. I think he jumps just to get attention, and it's a different. When you hear that water, you know what's going on, and you always hope when you walk around the corner, everything's good. But it's a different type of intensity of the splash and the jump of the lid that you're like, I think you just want someone to come in here, or you're bored, or I don't know. It's just.
If I'm sitting here like on Pam's late night stream and I haven't fed these guys, They don't they hit the glass hard, and I'm afraid they're going to break it, but they want to be fed.
Yeah, he
Yep.
can move that
Yep.
glass, and I have it weighted down, but he can still move it, and it makes me nervous.
Well, I'll definitely be following you to see how you get it sorted.
Well, thanks. Well, thank you.
Are you doing okay, or kids need you?
I'm gonna have to go.
I
They're
thought
they're
so.
starting. They're
I
getting
hear them.
hangry.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we were able to have you this long, so
Well, thank
I
you for having me.
appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite. And anytime you want to chat, just holler at me. I'm
Thank
here.
you
I'm
so
around.
much. Thank you so. Now, when is your live stream? Can you tell everybody?
Sunday at 4 Central, 5
Right.
Eastern, and I think 3 Pacific, maybe off the top of my
It
head.
sounds right. It
Sunday
sounds right.
afternoon.
All
But
right.
yeah, totally catch Aquarium Dilemmas too on your next drive, your next long drive.
Love that.
But yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks. Bye.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye bye. She's so sweet.
Yeah,
And
she
Pam, I started to say, Pam, you're going to have to get up and sit up now, laying down over there,
is.
or whatever. Whatever. I was looking at comments to see if there were ideals, and it seems people really are saying, yeah, that plywood is a good. But I'm like her, where am I going to put something like that? And Patrick Hardy's saying those 12-inch Hobby Lobby glass bowls are okay for one betta fish. Oh, yeah, for sure. They hold 4 gallons or a little over 4 gallons, the 12-inch do. And of course, it says on the label on the bottom, Patrick, oddly, I read it, that you can't lift them with water and that kind of stuff. They're actually for making big arrangements, putting things in that stick up real high, and so just having a little water, I guess, in it, or not lifting them when they do. But I bet they're
Has anybody
beautiful.
tried? I've been looking at. I was looking at like a 5 gallon. That's gonna sound really stupid, but I saw a 5 gallon like Kool-Aid dispenser with a little nozzle on the bottom, and I thought that'd make kind of a cool tank because you could just, when you change the water, you could just flip the nozzle up with a bucket underneath, and turn it off again.
That would make a cool tank for sure.
I was looking at it, thinking about it. I
And
can
you
say a
can
water
get
tank
those.
would be really easy.
Do they have a lid on top, or do you have to turn them
Yeah, they have
upside
a
down?
lid. Yeah, the ones I was looking at had a lid. So
Wow, that's a great idea. I might steal that because I need another tank to take care of. So, yep. Oh, Mike says he made a beta tank out of that, and it worked great. The Kool-Aid dispenser.
yeah, that's what I was. That's what I was thinking about, was a betta tank. When I was looking at it, I was thinking, that'd make kind of a cool betta tank and really easy water changes.
It really would. Do frequent water changes, no big deal. Who does?
Amber, oh my God, hi, how are you?
Hey, Amber. Hugs to you too. I've been wanting to get you to come on our Sunday night Tennessee Fish Mafia panel, but I know you're so busy. I may have even messaged you about it. I don't know. But yeah, there's so much to catch up on with Amber. She's got those tanks. She's getting fish in them, I'm sure. Her cats. I need to know what's going on.
I say betta 3 times in front of a mirror and turn around, and Amber shows up.
That's it. There she is. It works. Proof. Atomic. Oh, I'm trying to keep this big cat from not getting on me, but it's not going to work. Maybe she'll stay off the mic. Yeah, Amber, for sure. Not to put you on the spot or anything, but hopefully sometime soon you can come up and guest with us on the Sunday night panel. Pam's there, and Ed, and who else? Skipper. Lots of cool people. Furlough. seeing what's going on in the chat. Everybody just saying hello to everybody. So Pam, you don't have rice fish now, right? Is that correct?
No, I don't right now.
I thought I asked you about that before.
I am going to get them again, but I don't right now.
Let's see. You see, just say beta. Exactly. Exactly. I almost got another beta the other day. It was at one of the big box stores, and I resisted it. It was just so beautiful. I didn't do it. And Patrick, your fish are on the way. You know that. St. Patrick's and the Variatus platies. A lot of us older fish keepers love those guys, and they've become popular again. They're just such a simple, wild variety. You know, they're gorgeous. So I sent him some yesterday. And of course, I had to get me a few more too. So don't even look at it. Bob, don't look at it. Bob, don't even look. Who am I supposed to look at? Okay, Bob, I'll let you know as soon as I have internet again. Have it for a few months now. Money's been a bit tight, but it should be soon, within the next few weeks. I've been filming for my channel. Awesome, awesome, awesome. This sounds great. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. And I saw your setup, the way your tanks are set up. So I know you're in the process of stocking. Is that BCB or Bob? BCB, good vibes. And Rob 93 is on next. I don't think I mentioned that, but Maria and Mike have been showing the links to that. So Rob will be on in 15 minutes. And I like to go over there and
Hey,
hang
Skipper.
out. He and Joey have a great channel there together. So Nancy Drew is now home with me and has been renamed Phoebe. Oh, I love the name Phoebe. I'm looking for a name for my black snake. Phoebe's her cat, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know her cats. They're rescues. In the dumpster. Hey, Skipper. I'm catching up to Pam now. And then Papa Shrimp's on at 8. Jerry, he always has a great live stream. Always. Skipper, I hope you're doing okay. Let's see. Yeah, happy belated birthday. Maria posted her birthday, one of her birthday presents, unboxing from Dan's today, and he sent her a couple of extra little things. So check out that video, guys. I'm not going to spoil it. All these comments are getting ahead now, caught up. It's good to have the comments to look at, to read. Oh, hush. I guess it's okay to mention.
Dan's fish pop up. I wonder what he's giving away tonight.
I don't know. I've seen his link pop
up,
but
Maria says cherry fish. Cherry fish giveaway?
Says Mobile. Yeah, that's what it says.
Oh, cherry shrimp giveaway. Okay.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yes, yeah. I just got some cherry shrimp as an extra from Anthony and Priscilla. I did, Skipper. I ran her off. Now, she told me she had kids she had to watch, and she could probably keep them about 30 minutes in the other room, but then they got hungry, so she had to go. She stayed longer than that. And I had just asked her at the last moment. So, Rob, they just found me now. I've had kittens show up. Oh, they know you're the crazy cat lady. The crazy fish / cat lady. Yep. Yep. Sign on your back, I'm sure. Oh.
Yeah, it's getting to where some days are warmer now, and I leave my front door open, and I've had a cat. An orange cat that's been coming in once in a while. But I think it belongs to somebody because it's got a collar on it, but oh my God, it has the most awful meow in the world.
Mario, is that Mario approved, or what's going on with
Mario
that?
just kind of ignores it, so
Hmm.
he must know it, but it's got the most horrible meow.
Hmm. Oh, that's right. Pam's at 11. Yep. So a full agenda this evening, a full lineup. And I'm just
Yep,
going to
I love
mention,
Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights are always fun. Lots of people.
that evidently Garrett, the Big Time Cat, can't get anybody for his Friday night stream this week, so I'm going to be on there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm looking for. Oh yeah, he's awesome. I followed him since the start, but yeah, I can't imagine what he wants to talk to me about. I noticed he's been having some reptile channels on, but he's not getting out of fish or anything. He's just has some interest in reptiles.
Aquaballs, George, hello.
So I can definitely talk to him about that too. Hey George, welcome.
That was such a
Welcome.
beautiful tank that George showed us the other night.
Yeah, it was the saltwater
Yeah. Oh my
corals
God, it was beautiful.
that really excited. Quit. She's chewing on that. Stop. Go on. Sorry, guys. She's chewing on the damn mic cord.
What was that? Oh, that was on Monday night when I streamed, wasn't it? It was really pretty. And thank you for coming up, George, because that was like really nice.
Yep. That was a lot of fun. That was the extra stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too, Adele. It's got some awesome tanks. I might name that black snake Phoebe. I forgot about that. Hmm. In fact, I still haven't got a name for the black African house snake. Still haven't. I think my green snake ate the other one, Pam.
What?
Yep. I kept not seeing them both at the same time. I did up to about a week ago, I guess, and it had food, and the food would disappear. But anyway, I took everything out last night except one plant, the tall plant, and only one snake, unless it's burrowed down in that plant. But I don't think that's.
Well, they can't eat each other. I know that because I've seen it before.
Yeah, they were almost the same size in literature. Well, Mike has his together. It says you can keep them in groups. So I guess maybe Sigurd is the original one. I guess Sigurd said, been nice knowing you. Time to go. Here's Adele Scince. Your tanks. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Adele. Appreciate it. I've got a little Fahaka puffer, a little tiny one in one of those little bowls. Well, actually, one of the little tanks. It's 2.5 gallons. I'm going to have to move him on up. He's growing. That snake disappeared. Adele, one of the green ones. You know, I had the green African green bush snake, and then I got a second one. It's a little bit smaller, and I could hardly tell it. Sometimes it's hard to tell them apart, but I just couldn't see the other one for the last few days, so I took a whole bunch of stuff out of there and made sure it wasn't in what I was taking out. And only one snake, the original one. But, you know, I put an anole in there and it was gone in 10 minutes, poor thing, but that's what they eat. So he wasn't hungry. African green bush snake, George. And you're supposed to be able to keep them in groups. No, you've worn your welcome out this stream. They stay over there. You chewed my cord. Oh, man.
I wasn't chewing the cord.
Right? Pam chewed the cord into. She gnawed the wristbands off, and that's a different strain. No, the other snake did not look fat after it had the anole. When it gave the anole a proper welcome, it looked fat from that. But by this morning, that had dissipated. So no, and I find it hard to believe that it could have swallowed that other snake. I really do. There's no remains. There's nothing. I don't know. There's no way it could have gotten out of there either. I mean, and if it had gotten out, I would have known that immediately with all these tents. So, anyway, it's fine. maybe snake. Maybe. But if it had gotten out, I would know that. When I used to breed Western hognose, you'd have females sometimes eat their mates during breeding season. Yeah, it could be. That's the most obvious thing, but I just don't think it's big enough. And I would have noticed, if it had doubled its circumference. I know that king snakes are famous for that, but I don't know. They eat little skinks and little frogs and stuff like that. Anyhow, what time is it getting to be? I got about 10 minutes, maybe. Something like that. Find out later. Yeah. Well, thank you, Maria. It still may be in that pot, but even like the plastic hanging plant that I took out the vine, I kept going through that because I'm like, I know it's in here. It's got to be in here. It's not. I put the vine right over in with Nelson, with the big blue tongue. He would never bother the snake. He didn't bother those anoles. They party right in front of him, and he's not interested. It's too much work. Mystery of the missing snake, right? I'm going to go through it all again and see if I can see something. And also, these snakes always spit up what they don't digest, the bones and that stuff. And I haven't seen anything, but maybe I need to look better. I had one get loose once, and it turned up 3 months later in the laundry room. I'm hoping it does turn up. One of those little ground boas that I got, one passed. I even tried force feeding it in the later stages, but 2 females, but not 2 boys. I've read that, George. Yeah. And I have 2 boys, I think. I know one is a boy. Anyway, one of those other little pythons got out. I don't know how it did. Ground boas, sorry. And I found it by the cat litter pan like 2 weeks later. So, totally intact. The cats didn't. And those are so cute, though. They really are, Adele. And see, I kind of know which ones are which now in here. And I'm trying to get a colony started so they're strangers to me. But I haven't seen any eggs so far. I don't pull the largest and the fat ones out because I think those may be females. I have seen them mating, so hopefully. Yeah, it does make sense.
Chewy. Mike said he's thinking about a red-tailed boa.
You are? Well, I'll revisit that, but I think they got a little bigger than I wanted. So, Mike, we need to do like a reptile stream sometime. Again. Next time Pam cancels, if she ever does again. We did one in your time slot one time, Pam, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that was on a day when it was storming outside really bad and the internet wasn't.
Right. And you came in a little bit, but you said it was off and on. Well, I'll check those out again, Mike. I saw them at one of the Repticons or something. 5 minutes. Thank you, Maria. Hey, Chewy. All right, guys, I like to take a break. Actually, I'm drinking coffee, and you know what happens when old men drink coffee. So let me go get prepared for
you gotta
Rob
go
93.
You gotta go download your coffee.
Right? Exactly. Exactly that. So, Pam, I will see you over at, Dan's later.
At Dan's, yeah, and I'll be making the thumbnail and stuff for my stream pretty soon.
Awesome.
Oh.
And then I'll see you tonight at 11.
Yep.
Will there be art involved, or?
I've got one drawing done, but I need to make, I want to try to get at least one card done to give away too.
Awesome. For those that you gave away and auction, were awesome.
I finished this guy last night. I'll show you real quick.
And I know you'll kick and steal. Ooh, it's going to blow you up, but I guess she won't let me. Like the color on that.
It is a sandhill crane.
Yeah. Like that.
But anyway, yeah, I want to get a at least one card done to give away too. So I got one partially started, but it's kind of complicated. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it done or not.
Yep.
So I might have to switch and do a simpler one.
You need to quit giving away so much, but everybody's talked to you, so maybe tonight we can get some sense into you. You give away too much. So. All right. No lecture. Sorry. But you do. Thanks, everybody. Thanks again to Kerri, even though she's gone now. Great to have her, especially with all of her energy and excitement. It's just awesome. I love Kerri. And Pam, thank you as always. Always fun to co-host with you. I appreciate you more than you know.
Up. And everybody, don't forget Rob's next, and then Dan's going to be on tonight, and then I'm going to be on later. So we shall see everybody in other streams.
And thank you, moderators and members. Later.